How we doing, everyone? Sammy, United People's TV. Everyone's still surfing this week.
Cunha, Bruno, Luke Shaw,
I've obviously come in a good mood here. There's no drilling going on today. Tick. So you'll be able to hear me. I won't be distracted. And it's Friday. It's the quiz. We'll whip it out later. The quiz, that is. We'll go through the map. We'll run through the latest news. We'll speak about Bruno. It's 6 years to the day since Bruno signed. Yeah, we're having a conversation about him. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. I'll also run through the latest transfer news. Bombshell. There is no late drama. I don't have to sell you a fake story to lure you in. I can just tell you what it is. It's going to be some loan moves. We're going to speak about Sekou Kone maybe going to Lausanne Sport, or maybe Tyler Fredrickson and what's happening there. We'll also preview the Fulham game. Going to run through a really good interview clip from Lisandro Martinez on Michael Carrick. And it's Friday. Let me know what you're doing this weekend. Get involved in the chat. We'll have a good day. We'll have a good show. Right, who joined in with Nick and Dan on the Discord yesterday? Hope you enjoyed that. It's your opportunity to have a conversation with them. Let's see who's here from the mods and the members. Let's get on with today's show. Yeah, I won't be whipping it out. I think the show might get cancelled at that point. It's been a good run, though. Carl, Maddie, good morning to both of you. JC, good morning to you as well. Ant, you're there. Plenty of mods out this morning. Alex, good morning to you. What about some members? We've got Fran. We've got Spee. We've got Rich. We've got Abdallah. We've got Chris Wynn. Thank you very much. Big dub from you there, dude. Gifting 5 memberships. All of you, get involved. The link to today's quiz, by the way, is already pinned to the top of the chat. So, if you want to get involved, the link's already there. Smee, you enjoyed it on the Discord yesterday. Big Perm, you enjoyed it as well. Thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in. It's me bringing new faces into this channel has been one of the biggest ambitions I've had for a long, long time. It's unusual, isn't it? I am the only person on this channel. It's not the same anywhere else. There is a whole host of presenters. And for us to be able to take the next step forward, need to bring some new faces in so we can do more across different types of content. So hopefully you welcome in Nick and Dan. And it's the beginning. I'm really enjoying the podcast now. I think the podcast has had a little bit of a rocky start. It's just been up and down. But it's nice. We've got our 2 episodes out this week. We're going to be recording on Sunday after the Fulham game. And hopefully we're going to make them bigger and better each and every episode. Shall we get on with today's show? As always, if you are new in town, well, I don't think you will be if you hear this early. But if you are new, fire in your questions, your comments, and I'll try and engage with as many of you throughout the show as I possibly can. Let's run through all the news. Now, first things first. You see this news yesterday. So, you know that goalkeeper goal from Benfica? That goal put Benfica into the playoffs for the Champions League, and it knocked Marseille out of the playoffs. And then you got reports coming from France yesterday that De Zerbi's in serious danger of being sacked, and then separate reports that he's handed in his resignation. Mate, can we just add... There's a pile that's already starting. Oliver Glasner's over there. And I'll be honest, Roberto De Zerbi was always there. There wasn't 1% of me that ever thought, he could be a good choice as a United manager, but he's been linked and named. I can't remember who named him. I can't remember. Anyway, De Zerbi, woof. No, thank you. Away you go. Anyway, looks like he's going to be handing in his resignation at Marseille. He'll be an absolute bomb at United. Anyway, sorry to bring that up. He's not coming. Please tell me United won't be running to give him a contract if he gets sacked. No, he's not linked. He never was linked. I don't think. He was linked a little bit. But I just don't want it to go any further. That'd be bad. Right. Can we just enjoy the next 5 minutes? Oh, no, sorry. Let's call it 6 minutes. Bruno Fernandes. Anybody who's been a member, a follower, subscriber, who's watched enough United People's TV over these years will know how many times I've come out swinging for Bruno Fernandes and defending him. I know Bruno has his flaws and his frustrations as a player, but for the life of me, I have never understood the level of criticism that a lot of United fans have been willing to go to over Bruno. I think part of it has been enabled by... I'll always remember that Gary Neville commentary after the Liverpool game, where I think he was trying to suggest that he wanted to come off, which was completely false. Roy Keane has gone in on him multiple times. Mate, history is going to be so kind to Bruno at United and looking back on his time. I don't think he's going to... Could Bruno Fernandes be here next year now? I think it's possible for one more year. I genuinely do now. But if you asked me to start the season, I thought no, because I thought that Ruben Amorim was locked in. I was hoping that he was going to be the manager he was going to be at United. And in that version of Manchester United, there was not space for Bruno and Mainu to exist together. And I just thought the pathway was going to be Bruno leaves this summer and then Mainu steps in. Now that's changed. Michael Carrick's come in. Someone's saying down there, Richie, like the first thing Carrick did was put Bruno where he's most effective. You have quite literally the most creative player that this Premier League has seen in the last 6 years. He tops every single metric. Kevin De Bruyne is not even fit to lace his shoes when it comes to the numbers that he puts up. And the numbers that he's consistently put up in a bloody bang average Manchester United team. Just imagine. I don't want to actually. But how grim it would be if Bruno had joined City instead of joining United. Because he would have put up those numbers and he would have had a whole lot of other things that he's holding as well. I'm going to go down and read some of your comments out. Andy left a super chat. What'd you say? Sad I missed last night. Sorry to anyone I've missed this morning. My old brain can't keep up with the chat. It's a bit busy these days, isn't it? It's good busy. I like to think that the chat is still a welcoming place on United People's TV and we can actually have a conversation. And a bit of a to and fro. Sometimes I disagree with you. Sometimes you disagree with me. Sometimes I boot you out. But if you get booted out, I'll be honest, you deserve it. What are you saying down here? I heard somewhere he wanted too much money from United and we did approach him. I don't know who you're talking about there. Definitely not talking about Bruno. I remember when he signed, people barely knew who he was. He just kind of popped up. Not quite, because if I remember, we wanted to sign Bruno in the summer. I think we went after him and tried to sign him. We couldn't sign him. And then that's why we ended up signing him in January. But mate, just read those numbers. Like someone's just put it down there, Roman. 312 games in 6 years at this football club. And in total, 200 goals or assists. Mate, you're taking the piss. In this dysfunctional Manchester United team. My word. Anyway, it's 6 years since he joined today. He'll captain United against Fulham. Would you back him to have a game-changing contribution? Yeah, you probably would. Just like you do in every single game. And especially now that Bruno is playing in his correct position. He played where Ruben Amorim asked him to. You know, there's certain players that do that. Wayne Rooney was probably the prime example that you'll ever get of a player like that at Manchester United. Wayne Rooney is United's highest ever goal scorer in history. He would be significantly higher if he just would he be significantly higher if he just demanded to play centre forward? I don't quite know. But he is our greatest ever goal scorer. And he did so having played out on the left wing sometimes, having played in attacking mid quite a lot of times, having played out on the right wing to accommodate Berbatov, to accommodate Tevez, to accommodate Ronaldo. Rooney was the best example you'll ever get of a selfless player who still massively impacted every single game he played in. I'm putting Bruno in that category. Just one of the most selfless players you'll ever see at Manchester United. And I'm very sad that he has existed at this football club during such a dysfunctional time. Because Bruno is a player that could fit into and get into most Fergie teams. He'd still get into every Premier League team. What are we saying down here? Bruno's never been the problem, says that. Never been the problem himself for me. It was a position he was forced to play and just didn't suit his game. Love Bruno. It's just I've always found it. I've done a little short that we'll put out today as well. I've always found it so odd and strange how often I've had to defend Bruno against like a tsunami of criticism from United fans. I kind of expect it from other clubs, but the amount that came from within was almost vicious at times. I've never understood it. I've honestly never understood it. I've always stood on the right side for Bruno, as far as I'm concerned. My position will never change. I can't really give a fair opinion on him now because I've got Bruno tinted specs, if you want to call it that. That's one of the. I'm not reading that comment out. That's weird. Brian, you're welcome for the poster, dude. Someone else going to win a poster today. Quiz later on. Bang. Bruno, 6 years. Congratulations. Will he be here for a 7th? I think it's possible now. I was pretty convinced at the start of the season this was going to be Bruno's last season. I also was hoping that Ruben Amorim was going to stay on as manager. That hasn't worked out. We've now switched. We've now got a true number 10 position. And it's perfect for Bruno. And these first 2 games where Carrick's operated in the 4-4... I mean, that 4-4-2 out of possession is probably largely going to exist in most games. But Bruno operating as one of those 2 furthest forward gets the best. Harry, you're down there saying, would you call Bruno a legend? Now, I'm a little bit harsh. I mean, yes, I would. But I'm a little bit harsh on the use of that word. Or just, I think people go with hyperbole a little bit too soon with certain players, like greats and legends and stuff like that. Like, legends of this football club are Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law, George Best, Wayne Rooney, Scholes, Giggs. Like, they're legends of this club. That's a very elite club to be in because we have been gifted as fans with so many like true icons of this game. So I'm always hesitant to apply the word legend, but I think Bruno's going to go into that category. And the fact he's going to do that without a Premier League title or without a Champions League title is a testament to how well he's played. Cantona, exactly. Like, John, like, we're talking, these are the players that are United legends, right? That's what I mean, but can I even put Bruno in that category without having... I don't know what the levels are. Like, someone saying that hero down there, icon. I don't know what the different categories are. Bloody love him though. Big up Bruno. Did it. Brian, go wash your mouth out. He's not our Gerrard. He's our Bruno. Right? Did it. Can I also just say, moving on from thanking one player to thanking another player. I enjoyed that video yesterday for Senny. He just deserved it. That was all it was. In the same way that the week before, I thought Dorgu deserved having the spotlight put on him for crediting his development. I think Senny deserves a spotlight on him now because it's been... How many games has he played, actually? How many Premier League games? Man United results. What would I guess? 8? 9? I don't know, actually. How many games has Senny played for us? Sunderland was his debut. He's played every game since. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, these are the... Is it Premier League? Yeah, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's played more than 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bloody hell, a lot more than 8. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 games. 17 games! Bloody hell. Well, I got that one spectacularly wrong. Anyway. Certainly felt like it was a fair time to have a conversation about Senny. And what he's done so far. And long may it continue. Some of you saying 14 down there. Otherwise, it's more than 10. I got it wrong. He's played a fair amount of games for us. Coming up to half a season, really. And he's been class. Really, really class. Exactly. It's just been very sort of quiet in how he's operating. They're quiet, just measured. All in a day's work. Doesn't really seem to be fazed by occasions, fazed by moments, in the same ways that keepers were before. It's like Onana and Bayindir sort of absorbed the anxiety from the game itself and the crowd. And it affected them massively. I've not really seen Senny affected in a game situation. Has he made a couple of errors? Of course he has. There are a couple of situations where maybe he would have wanted to start off with his weight a little bit different before he jumped? Maybe. Would he have come to claim across a little bit differently? Yeah, maybe. But largely, he's just been a very assured and good goalkeeper. Yeah. If Onana and Bayindir absorbed the anxiety, they then bounced it back out 3 times stronger. Whereas Senny just sort of absorbs the anxiety into some sort of black hole. You just feel a little bit less anxious because you got him in goal. That's the way I would describe it. He's like the black hole for anxiety. Pretty weird way to describe it. Made sense in my head, so I thought I'd say it. A couple of you sent in some super chats. Let me read these out. Shabugan, great name. Our fans are occasionally incredibly unappreciative. There are people that still won't call Rooney a legend. Yeah, well, I was on the wrong side of history with Rooney. I've made my peace. I've had my penance. I backed Fergie throughout that whole time, and I looked at Rooney differently. Now I've looked back on it and go, yeah, I was completely wrong. I think there's an argument for Rooney being the greatest ever Premier League player. I really do. And I wonder who else you would put into that category. But Rooney's going to come out on top of a lot of metrics. Anthony saying that Bruno's a loyal servant. Mate, Bruno's been very loyal. Turned down that Saudi money. Big money. Mr. Men saying, loving the content and all the mods. Keep going. Big up to you, dude. Spacey, you're saying the fact that we haven't had one major mistake that cost us a game is amazing. As I said, he's made certain errors. But apart from that, he's just been class. He deserved that video yesterday, and I enjoyed doing it. So, shall we move on to... Henry, I think you can have a conversation about Henry, but I don't even think... I think Rooney was just more... How would I describe it? I don't know. It feels like the legacy of Wayne Rooney affected, in a positive way, more players that followed and more youngsters that followed. And I suppose it kind of depends on how you... what your categories are for defining who is the greatest Premier League legend. Anyway, should we speak about transfers? Like I've been telling you for about a week. I don't know, not even a week, probably longer than that. Transfers in this January were always not impossible, but it felt unlikely. Then Amram got sacked. And then transfers definitely felt unlikely because he didn't even know he was going to be our manager. So we spent more time in January talking about new managers than we have been talking about new players. That's just what it is. Could we have signed a midfielder? Yes. Would it have improved our squad options? Yes. Would it have improved our results? Well, we've got City and Arsenal back-to-back. Let's see what goes next. Fulham's coming up, of course. We've got one game a week. We've finally started seeing it in these last couple of games. Maybe what can happen we're seeing benefits of playing once a week. Now, there's been false stories left, right and centre because, it's coming towards the end of the transfer window. Let me just lure you, and it's annoyed me no end. But it is what it is. United were linked with this lad. This is a bit of a sad one, if I'm being honest. Kademaita, we spoke about him. It's the 18-year-old from Rennes. We spoke about him a few months ago, alongside Jeremy Jacquet, who now Chelsea want to sign, and also Ayoub Bouadi from Lille. 3 French youngsters. Anyway, it looks like, doesn't look like, here we go. Kademaita to Al Hilal. So 18-year-olds now are choosing Saudi. That feels quite sad, that. I don't know whether I'm looking at it wrong. Because I suppose as an 18-year-old, you're technically still in a development phase. So if you go and spend a year, 2 years developing elsewhere before you then make your big move to a Premier League club or La Liga, whatever it is, you might be in a better position. But do I think you're going to develop like that in the Saudi League? No, not really. I think he would develop a lot more if he was in the French League, which is where he already was. Because French League is very competitive. So from a development perspective, there would have been a lot more value for him staying at Rennes than there is in him moving to Saudi. But it's not a waste of a career. It's just, it's a career move that I would say is a bit ill-advised, if I'm honest. I think he would have been better off staying there, but he hasn't. He's gone to Al Hilal. Saudi clubs are going to expect Saudi clubs to go absolutely nuts this summer. Like last summer, they kind of went on a bit of a quiet one, but because Benzema's leaving, like I think N'Golo Kante's leaving, Fabinho, like some of the big hitters from the original older players that went there in their first run of signings, their contracts are sort of expiring and running out. So there's going to be big money for them to invest. I think that Salah's going to be going to there. I think Salah goes to Saudi for like 150 mil. It's going to be a disgustingly huge amount of money for a player of his age, and it's going to enable Liverpool to waste another 400 mil. Oh! But yeah, so I think so. Agents, someone saying down there, money talks. I mean, it's the only reason you're going there, isn't it? Because it's certainly not development. Because if it is development you want, you'd stay at Rennes, where you're getting first team football in a very competitive French league. Gangshi, good morning to you. Man, you've been you. There's nothing new. You're just an icon. You are a legend of this channel. You definitely fall into that category. Now, I've seen people wanting to speak about Xerxes leaving, and it's just been whiffy at best. Who was it? Roma? I think it was Roma. He was linked with Roma, and then he wasn't linked with Roma. And then Roma, like sporting director, came out and said, "Nah, it's not happening." Good. Now DiMarzio's linking him back to Juve, just in case Juve can't actually sign Kolo Muani, and then they go and Xerxes staying, man. I've seen, like, you really want me to sort of have a conversation about Dalot being linked to, what was it, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich? Mate, it's just coming from a rag newspaper. I swear these people just make things up. Should we have a little meeting this morning, lads? Or what should we do? Let's play, like, spin the wheel. Who is it? Right, so it's landed on Ugarte. Right, okay. Who should we go for? Panathinaikos. Okay. Right, so you've got to link Ugarte to Panathinaikos. All right, what's that? I've got a good headline. It feels like that's how they make some of these things up. Or maybe they just look at, like, contracts expiring and stuff like that and try and create it so people can put two and two together. I don't know. Anyway, Xerxes. I think United may have considered moving him on in January. I don't quite know. But nothing's really ever happened. Jason, I'd be a great journo. Just write shit instead of his rumours. It's like you always see like the front page of the Daily Star. But they must make them up, man. You know, like the stupid headlines. Like, all right, I slept in a bath of cornflakes for 2 years. Or some... And they've somehow got a supporting picture. He goes, this can't be real. I'd love to be in one of those meetings. Right, who's doing what now? Oh, I've got a cracker. Look at this. I ate minstrels for 6 months. I don't know. Some weird stuff. In terms of other news, other transfer news, it's all mainly related. In fact, it's all related to players leaving the club. Tyrone Malacia. Who is it what game did he come on against? I can't remember who he came on against. Is it West Ham? Everton? I don't know. Anyway, Malacia. This is coming from... where is it? Is it the Telegraph he writes for? No, Voetbal International. Out in Holland. So, Voetbal International and... What was the other one I just said there? The Telegraph are the two like established and trusted outlets. Was it Newcastle? That was who he played against, Newcastle. Anyway, Malacia has been training. There's been no conversation about setbacks. It would be fantastic for him if he could get a move away from United in January. Because it's either in January or he leaves in the summer as a free agent. So it's one of those two things. And I'll wish him the absolute best. Got no ill will towards the lad. He's just had an absolute grim time with injuries. But there is no space for him in this United squad. There's plenty of other players ahead of him in the pecking order. And if you can get a loan move, it just accelerates what's going to happen in the summer. And I think that'd be good for him. I don't know whether that's going to happen. Now, someone else. Sekou Kone. This season has not gone how it was supposed to go for Sekou Kone. Because he fractured his eye socket. Was it against Tamworth? I think it was against Tamworth. Fractured his eye socket and missed like 3 months. I'm not saying that Sekou Kone would have broken in and become a first-team player at Manchester United. But I think he might have made his debut. I certainly think he would have been in some matchday squads. But instead, he's kind of been set back a little bit. Now you're seeing reports coming out this is from France, I think, saying that Sekou Kone is set to join Lausanne Sport on loan. So he's already been training with them. And I think this happened last week. It kind of sounds like they're just doing the admin work and then it will get announced. So this will be, I think, the first... No, not the first one, actually. That was Enzo Canabiec, who also went to Lausanne Sport. Remember, that was a lad that we signed for free in the summer from Le Havre, and he was loaned out there. Sekou Kone is going to follow suit. This is United using the multi-club model. We've seen Diego Leon getting linked with Nice. Haven't seen that go any further. Yeah, the injury was a massive setback for him. If this was going to be a year that he broke through, it's not going to happen anymore. So now it's just the rest of the season. Right, okay, let's just focus on as much development as you can get. The fact that the club is sending him out on loan is telling us that they probably feel that the under-21s is not where he's going to develop anymore. They want him to experience new things. Someone's saying he could go into the Championship. It would always be my preference. Championship's an incredible league. It really is. The quality of the Championship, compared to a few years ago, it's night and day. In terms of building, like Harry Mass is going to come back to Manchester United a significantly better player after his season. Even though he went down to Sheffield Wednesday with the bottom of the league by 7 points because they've been putting 2 winding up orders. But even in that relegation scrap, he would have developed. It's kind of, as much as I always want players to go to promotion chasing teams in the chat, that's like the ideal loan. There has to be considered because imagine this, right? There will be it'll be a little bit different with Harry Mass because he came from Watford. Maybe it's kind of only really I'm speaking about players who grew up in United's academy and stayed there. Going away from United and to different environments and sometimes worse environments and clubs in worse condition probably makes them appreciate Manchester United that bit more. And I'm not saying that's what's going to be going on with Sekou Kone because we signed him from Gidars FC when he was already 17, 18, I think so. Yeah, Ahmad at Sunderland. I always think about Twanzebe when he went to Villa. That was a big, really good loan for him. Amas at Sheffield Wednesday and now at Norwich. Even Ahmad at Rangers would have helped him develop. Loans are important. Loans are so crucial. There really will only be... I know Kobbie Mainoo is one of those players, but there really will not be that many players, I don't think, who successfully... It's not impossible because I'm hoping Shea Lacey falls into that category as well, but it's particularly difficult for a player to come through United's academy and without a loan move, break into the first team squad and be able to cope with the environment and everything that's going on. Not impossible, but more difficult as a consequence. Let's go down there. Who's in control of loans nowadays, says Rich? I don't actually know, if I'm honest. Because it was Johnny Evans. Radek Vitek is going to be another good example. I don't know who's in charge of loans anymore. Is it Chris Favell? No idea. Anyway, Tyler Fredrickson kind of surprisingly broke through last season. He was supposed to be getting a loan move in January. Had a bit of a calf issue. He's going to be staying at the club. So Fredrickson, I imagine, will be playing with under-21s. That's what I'm guessing anyway. And that's it for transfer news. There's no other false stories for me to tell you. There's no false hopes to bring up. Still, I'm waiting for this surprise transfer. I'm still waiting for the shock move on deadline day. I really would be nice. But there's never really been any credible hints towards it happening. So if it happens now, It's going to be a bolt from the blue. If it happens now, it doesn't mean that the bullshit that's been spread over this last week has been correct. Because it hasn't been. What do I think about the Fletcher twins going on loan? Adam Lawrence is back with the under-21s. And they both won the treble with him for the under-18s. I think I'd like them to stay there. But it depends on how much they feel the under-21s is actually going to develop them. Which I still question. Now let's run through the headline for today's show. I want to speak about this. Martinez. Now, you know how I've done a video on Senny Le Mans yesterday? I feel like I might do a video on Bruno tomorrow. I haven't quite decided yet. We'll see. Today is going to be the starting 11 for the Fulham game. I really feel like I want to do one on Martinez, but I don't want to do it yet. I'm conscious. I'm aware that I don't want to do this video too soon, but the more I see him play, the more I'm saying to myself, Martinez, he's still there. That you're starting to look more like the Martinez I remember from that first season. But I don't want to say it too soon. I don't want to. I don't want to be bad karma or anything like that. I'm just enjoying what I'm watching from him. And it was nice to hear Ian Wright speaking about him on the overlap. Obviously, Ian Wright was sat there in the crowd watching United beat Arsenal. And Martinez was class. I think Martinez had more progressive passes. Did he even have more passes overall? I don't actually know the stats on that. But we all know those passes. There was one particular moment against Arsenal where I think Arsenal were pressing down again on Martinez, and he had like 2-3 players around him. I might even have the screenshot here. 1 second, I think I do actually. One particular pass. Where is it? Yeah, man. I thought I had it. This situation here. It's got 1, 2, 3, but just that lovely little, I mean, it's easy ball there, but it was that ball there, into that space. The perfect pass from Martinez, and the sorts of passes that he makes look so easy. I love the bloke. I think everybody knows that by now. I've never really shied away from it. I've never really hidden it, but it's just, I'm enjoying watching him come back to his best. Obviously, that Haaland game and what Scholes and Butt were saying is just... He's been class. And I wanted to pull up this interview here. Or this little clip. For an interview with Stan Sport, Premier League. Interviewed by Ian Irvin, actually. Big up, Ian. And he was asked about Carrick's impact on him. Carrick's impact on just the club. Just have a little listen to this bit here. Right, this last little 30 seconds of this clip.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you play for Manchester United, it's because you have something. You need people who understand your quality. You need people who take your best as well, you know. And I think Michael is doing that. He's taking the best from everybody, not just the players, but also the staff, the standard, the structure that he demands. That is really important. And for me, when you touch my heart, I will give everything for you. And he touched it already, and you can see that on the pitch we give everything. If you play for...
Bloody love Martinez. I tell you what, I do feel a little bit sorry for Ruben Amorim that he didn't have him in this sort of form in this team. Martinez is the sort of player, kind of a little bit like Roy Keane, in that there's a certain standard that gets demanded around him that you kind of have to match it. Because if you don't, he's just going to come and slap you upside the head. That's the sort of player that Martinez is, always has been. Why he's talking there about like, Carrick's touched my heart. You know, I'll do anything. I'll kind of run through brick walls for him. That's kind of what I would. I want to say I'm not going to be running through any brick walls for anyone, but that's kind of how I feel about Martinez. If I see that you give a shit, if I see that genuinely you're leaving everything on that pitch, a bit like Bruno, a bit like Martinez, then I will, as a fan, I'll come out swinging and I'll defend you amongst criticism. I'll happily do that. I'll stand there and take some bullets so you don't have to. Well, not that I can get in the way of anything, but you know what I mean here. I do feel for Ruben Amorim that he didn't have Martinez in his dressing room. But also I want to speak about these two in a sec. There's a couple of super chats here. I'll read these out. What's your take on Martinez, the season he's having? And clearly, he's enjoying working under Carrick. I think you're seeing that from the results in his first 2 games, right? Yeah, I did see Martinez hugging his dad. That was a class little moment. Yeah, John, I did like that run down the left wing as well. And you're saying overlap, half an hour of how I put Arsenal were poor, 5 minutes of how United were good. And it looked like they were sucking lemon saying it. I mean, were Arsenal bad? I think United kind of made them look bad because we squeezed and stopped so many of the spaces that they would normally occupy and threaten through. Yeah. I haven't listened to it, to be honest. I can't remember the last time I listened to a full overlap. Amir, how you doing, buddy? So I just wanted to say this is the only channel I've found that didn't run the news that isn't reliable. Also wanted to say I'm sitting in the Stretford end on Sunday for the first time, hoping we can win. Enjoy it, dude. Hopefully you're in the standing section. So much better in there when you've got the safe standing. But look, man, when it comes to headlines, if I had to do 2 or 3 shows a day, my headline integrity would be bottom of the barrel because I'd be desperate. I'd have to make something sound so exciting that you want to watch something. But I only watched you 4 or 5 hours ago. That's what it is. When you choose quantity as your main priority, other things are going to diminish as a consequence. That's your choice. You've made that decision. But that is why the headlines are nonsense so often. And why I would always get angry about it. You've made your choices in doing that, then I will make my choice in criticising it. Anyway, Martinez. He's definitely number 1 contender for future skipper. His English is pretty good as well. Did I always know his English was good? I don't quite know. I did see that Gabriel refused to shake hands after. But speaking of Amorim here, it's something I want to say because Martinez is there really praising Carrick and the impact that he's had and clearly the impact that he's had on the team. Now, just this little bit here from Andy Mitten from the latest Talk of the Devils. Talking about the dressing room. And what I would say, just my feeling about Amorim towards the end, or actually not just Amorim after the fact, really. I don't think that dressing room was a bad place when he left it. I think you kind of saw it in a lot of the players when they came out in support of Amorim. They said, not in support, they're saying, look, thank you very much. Good luck in what else you do. There were tons of thank you messages. I don't think Amorim left a broken dressing room. I actually think a lot of the work that he did behind the scenes was good, impacted the club in the right way, and actually left the squad and the dressing room in a good condition that when Carrick came in, he could build on it, rather than Carrick having to come into the dressing room and repair it. These are Mourinho to Solskjaer. The complete opposite. That dressing room was broken when Solskjaer came in, which is why there was such a new manager bounce and a lift because, oh my God, we can enjoy ourselves again. Look, like the strict teachers left the room. Ah, thank God. Amorim to Carrick, or Amorim to Fletcher to Carrick, I don't think was that same sort of transition, which is why I think Carrick's had a good framework to build on, but at the same time, as has been said there by Martinez, he's clearly done a lot of good stuff. I spoke about it from a tactical perspective, and it feels like the simplicity of it is working. Now, this Fulham game is going to be a different kettle of fish. We'll speak about Fulham in a second, actually. But I just enjoyed that. Let me see what you're saying down here. Sam, is it true that Ten Hag wanted Timber instead of Leacher? I remember that time. What other... That was the summer we were going after every Ajax player. That was the summer we signed... Did we sign Anthony the same summer? I think we did right towards the end, didn't we? I think so. FWH saying we have really good characters in the dressing room. It's good for younger players. But there is a chance that quite a lot of that does leave this summer. I think Casemiro's a good role model for the players this season. Certainly he has been. I'm not saying he wasn't as good a role model in previous seasons, but he just wasn't the best version of himself. I think at this age, this is the best version of Casemiro that you can possibly ask for. Maguire, I think, is an incredible role model for what he's had to come through. He's taken barbs and uppercuts from me and from plenty of other people as well. He's come through it. And I'm hoping that we see the next 4 months, we see a Harry Maguire desperate for that England squad place. Because if we get that version of Harry Maguire, if we get like an England tournament version of Harry Maguire for the next 3-4 months, bueno. And his last 2 games kind of looks like we have. So fingers crossed. I mean, De Ligt's going to struggle to get back into this team when you've got Maguire and Martinez. You're not breaking that up, are you? Like, heaven, I know you've had some good games this season, but it's not going to happen now. Not with how these two have played in these last 2 games. And if they can stay fit and it's 1 game a week, it's Maguire and Martinez for the rest of the season. Touch wood, all that jazz. Luke Shaw. Mate, Luke Shaw started... Like, let me pull up this stat. This will blow your little goddamn mind. I mean, it might not, but it's a bit mad. Where is it? Shabba-dabba. Keep scrolling. What? Anybody seen that Netflix documentary on Woodstock? The second one. Mad. If you've never watched it, watch it. Where is it? Never mind. Can't find it. Anyway, Luke Shaw's played more minutes this season. I'll find it on the Instagram, I think. I was just trying to find the graphic. But I can't, so I'll just get it on the Instagram instead. Look at this. How nuts is this? In the 2022 and basically in 2 seasons prior to this season, he had 1,300 minutes combined. And this season already, he's played 700 more minutes than those 2 previous seasons combined. I know it was a bit of a weird way to say that stat. I even said that a bit wrong. But Luke Shaw's been far better, far more dependable. He's had some moments, had plenty of moments. But yeah, I hope we get that version of Luke Shaw for the rest of the season. I hope we get that version of Harry Maguire for the rest of the season. And Kobbie Mainoo. All 3 of them currently on the fringes or outside of the England squad. And all desperate to get in that England squad. I think it's been driving Casemiro to be this version of himself this season. And I think it will drive all 3 of those in a good way. But yeah, Carrick, boom. Next, Fulham. I did the poll yesterday, so I don't really think there's another. But a lot of you think we're going to win. A lot of you do. 90% of you. That's what it was. Remember, by the way, we're playing the quiz in a minute. So click the link at the top of the comments, pin comment. Fulham. My starting 11 video, the main question... I think kind of the main question that we've got. Yeah, Yoro. Like, geez, I haven't even mentioned Yoro there. I spoke about heaven. Don't really need to have a question. You could have a conversation about Yoro, I suppose. He's behind Maguire at right side of centre back. And when De Ligt's fit, he'll probably go behind De Ligt as well. But Cunha. Will Cunha start against Fulham? I bloody missed it, that Alcaraz Zverev. Was it 5 hours? I do love watching Alcaraz. A little bit Djokovic in how he plays, but just, he's kind of like a Djokovic and Nadal blend. Not just for the fact that he's Spanish. He is Spanish, isn't he? Pretty sure he's Spanish. I do love top level tennis. I just like top level sport, man. I watch F1, I watch golf, I watch tennis. I watched like a Rugby World Cup. I enjoyed that. Bit of bowls, bit of croquet, bit of dominoes. Is there like a Domino's World Cup? I'm not saying like Domino's. Woo-hoo. Do like a pizza though. My mind is all over the shop today. But Cunha, don't know whether he's going to start, but I think he probably will. And I think like if in these last couple of games, Michael Carrick has had the same starting 11 in both games. I don't think we see that. I'm not just saying that because Dorgu's not going to start. I know that. So obviously it won't be the same 11. But I think there's a chance. I think there's a conversation to be had about whether or not Šeško starts. I really do. Because we spoke about this in the pod, me, Nick and Dan. We were like, what's the best way to break a low block down? There's different methods of it. Like playing quick. And we spoke about this in the live show yesterday, I think. But 2 easy ways for me are like, well, not 2 easy ways, but 1. Crosses into the box. Early crosses as well. Getting in behind. Before. And it's not even to say that Fulham are definitely going to play like a Sean Dyche level low block. Because it's not guaranteed. But I think there's a chance that Šeško does start. Hector saying, Sam, I was at Fulham with my ex when Rooney scored the injury time winner. I was in a Fulham home side as my ex was a Fulham fan. It's probably why she's your ex. Had to sit on my hands. I hate when that happens. I've only ever done that once. It was grim. Went the whole way to Newcastle. Drove up there. Had to stayed in a truck car park overnight. That was cold. And that was a game where we won 3-0. I think it was Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans scored a header? I think Evra scored a header. I think. And then there's one where Tom Cleverley scored from a cross. An accidental cross that went into the top of the net. That was when they had like Johan Kabay and stuff. We won 3-0. Sitting on your fans. I was right underneath the away end, but I couldn't do anything. I was just like, oh, it's so sad. Sad that United have scored. As much as it's fun to watch games live, it's just not a nice experience, I don't think, when you've got to hide your emotions when you're sneaking into the home end. Is what it is.
Good morning. Hello.
Go on, Cass. Anyway, some youngsters training as well. Shay Lacey. Jack Fletcher? Tyler Fletcher? One of the Fletchers. And Malacia. Could see Shay Lacey back in the squad. You might see Fletcher in the squad. Don't quite know. But yeah. I kind of find myself dropping in and out. Like, sometimes I think, well, yeah, it would be bigger for Carrick if he beats Fulham. But the only reason we are able to say that it might be bigger for Carrick if he beats Fulham is because we have beaten City and Arsenal. So the only reason this conversation even exists is because of the two great results that have come before it. If we got spanked by City and lost to Arsenal as well, there wouldn't be anybody really coming into this Fulham game saying, oh, this is the big... It would be like, can we get a run? Can we get a win on the board? Blah, blah, blah. The conversation would be very different. It's the consequence of winning the first two games. Do I think it will be bigger as a result than those two? No. Do I think it could be the best reflection of what to actually expect in these next 3 to 4 months? I think yes. I think we'll probably learn more from this game about our chances for the Champions League than the City or the Arsenal game. And that's where I would say it is a bigger game. Because we are going to have more of the ball. We are expected to win. We are playing at Old Trafford. We will have more possession. If they do sit into a low block, how will we break that down? We'll find out. Yeah, exactly. Like, you can someone down there saying like reinforces what Carrick can do with a team. I think there's more chance that we see a version of United that Carrick actually really wants in the long term in this game compared to what we saw against City and Arsenal, where that was, let's control the game without the ball. He wants to control the game with the ball, ultimately, which is what this is going to be the first example of. Right. Shall we have some fun? Come on. Bish. I don't like that dude. How is he still alive? You seen his ankles? It's not even an ankle. It's like the ankles disappeared. How does Big John walk? I don't know. I don't know where the foot. I don't know where the foot ends and the leg starts. Right, shall we? Come on, peeps. It's quiz time. Let's get quizzical. Everyone's got that. It's a cliche. It's a cliche name. Right. In the chat, pin comment, click that. You can play the quiz. 5 questions. Fastest finger first. The faster you answer question with the right answer, you get more points. Whoever's top of the leaderboard after 5 questions wins a prize. Now, we've currently got all the posters still to give away, but there's going to be roughly about another... When I get this new studio set up, there's loads of shirts behind me here that I'm going to be giving away because they haven't got names on the back. It was the last quiz that ended abruptly because I think I pressed the wrong button. I'll try not to do it in this one, so I'm sorry if that was you who won last week. Shall we, though? Still hits this song. That still properly hits. Right, you ready? I'm trying not to get too overexcited, but I can't help it sometimes. Are you ready? First question. Which United player scored the winning goal versus Arsenal? Dorgu and Mbumo or Cunha? Come on, Acuna. 5 of you. Find out who it was. Boot them out. Right, who's top? Big John. Big Dave. Oh, John, that is 982. That might be the biggest score I've ever seen on 1 point. Jeez. Impressive. Right. Next slide. Question 2. You ready? What shirt number does Dorgu wear? I didn't actually know this one. What would I have guessed? Would I have guessed it? Well, I know Ahmad's number, so it would have been 50-50. I'm not sure I would have got it too quick. Ahmad's 16, isn't he? Anyway, it's 13. 70 if you got it right, and 19 if you got it wrong on 14. Hi, Sam. Loving that name. Hi, Sam better be top of the leaderboard here. Come on, Hi, Sam. Oh, you let yourself down, Hi, Sam. T, though, top of the leaderboard, just ahead of AJ. I was watching The Sopranos on the treadmill this morning. AJ was being a dick in that episode. You ready? Question 3. Can't help but dance to this, Jen. What colour socks were United wearing versus Arsenal? Ooh. I know that one. Bang. Here's a tape measure. Why not? I suppose it was kind of hard. It was 50-50. It was yellow. Is it black top, black shorts, yellow socks? I think that's what it was. Right. Who's top now? T's up there. Lionel. Who's fastest? Lionel? Sam T. Right. We've got T up the top. Filippo 4 points behind. And Travis 4 points behind them. That's the top 3 right now. Question 4. You ready? I'll try not to end it after this one. Which United's women's player got 2 assists in their 4-1 win away at Villa? Melvin Millard, Jess Park, or Giulia Zighiotti? I wouldn't know the answer to that one. I'll be totally honest. Millard. Very nice. Right. Let's see if we can get to the last question this time. RT got it wrong. Travis got it wrong. Filippo didn't. Who was fastest? Brian. Woof. You're not winning it back to back. If you win it back to back, I'm probably going to send you the prize anyway, but that's Gian. Right. You know what time it is. Let's see if I can actually get this one right this time. Press it once, Sam. Right, you ready? Question 5. Last question. How many goals have Cunha and Mbumo and Šeško scored in total in the Prem this season? Is it 18, 17 or 19? How many goals have they scored combined? That's a toughie. $17. I don't know why I'm doing that. I just need to move that out of the way. 17 was the correct answer. Who's top? As if he's done it again. Nah, fixed. 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 VAR. 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 Needs Stu's inquiry on this. That he's won it 2nd week in a row. Could you just go and check? Yeah, thank you. Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable. Who finished 2nd? Ian. Then Marsad or Marcade. And Filippo. And Rumby, there's your top 5. Unbelievable, Jeff. Right. Someone's got to make sure that Brian's booted out and banned from the chat next time. Can you even look? Trying to ask for prizes. You get what you're given. All right? Enough of that. Anyway, you can sort that with Alex and Maddie. Congratulations, Brian. I don't mean that like a bitter way. Like, you won 2 back-to-back. He's basically just done a Carrick. City and Arsenal. Can he do a 3rd week in a row against Fulham next week? We'll find out. But to end today's show and to end the week, it's the map. All right? So, the map by now. If you are new, I'm sure some of you are. We pull this out every single week. There's 835 different map points. Let me know what city and country you're watching from, and I can add a few of you onto the map. You can do the maths. I add like 2 or 3 every single week, and there's 835 map points on this map. That's how long we've been doing this for. Unbelievable, Jeff. Right, let me see where you're watching from. Let's get a few of you added onto the map.
Cunha, Bruno, Cunha, Bruno, Cunha, Bruno, Luke Shaw, Cunha.
Cunha, Bruno, Cunha. Go on, the boys. Iconic bit of commentary, that one. We've got Finn watching from Rustenburg in South Africa. That's not on the map yet. A rusty burger. That doesn't sound very nice, does it? We've got Ash watching from Kathmandu. I spelled that right? Yeah, I did. I still need to finish watching. I was watching, like, was it called 14 Peaks? I think it is. Luke, you're watching from Gdansk. That's awesome. I was like, is Pomeranian a Polish word? I don't know that. They're really annoying dogs, Pomeranians. I'll be completely honest. One more. We've got Marcus watching from, can I even spell that? Etobicoke. Etobi in Toronto. Never been Canada. Really want to go. I still want to do so much bloody travelling. Haven't done any of it yet. That's a few of you on the map there. We've got Etobicoke in Toronto, Gdansk in Poland, Kathmandu in Nepal, and Rustenburg in South Africa. Awesome. Can I ask all of you to please drop a like on the video and make sure you consider subscribing if you enjoyed yourself. I hope we're here on Monday after 3 from 3, man. I'll give you my prediction in the start 11 video. I'll pop that out probably. Should I do it before? Sometimes I wait until after the press conference. Sometimes, no, I don't think I will because I don't think there's anything I need to wait for from this one. But have a cracking weekend. Who's getting up to what? I'm going to a day rave tomorrow. Thought I'd let you know. Might even send some photos in. I'm looking forward to it because I love liquid drum and bass. That's my ultimate music. And I haven't been to one in a long time. But it's 3 till 9 p.m. so I can actually behave and come back at a reasonable time and be fresh and sprightly for United beating Fulham 7-0. All right? Start 11 video goes out today. Might try and get a video out tomorrow as well if I can before the game. And then I'll see you after the game. Much love. Take it easy.